Welcome to the podcast of School Beyond Limitations. In this podcast, you will learn how to guide your child through their school life with the intention to help them find their unique essence that will allow your daughter, your son to live a fulfilled and meaningful life. Is school preparing for life or for obedience? My name is Dr. Martina. I'm co-founder, CEO and the developer of the school model of School Beyond Limitations. If you would like your child to live a fulfilled and meaningful life, then this is the channel for you. Is school preparing for life or is schooling preparing for obedience? If I may ask you in this specific moment, do you want your child to be prepared for life? Then I guess you would say, yes, of course. I want my child to be prepared for life. Is this happening in the school, in all the schools around the world? I'm not sure about that. Actually, I would doubt it. Why? I'm doubting it because if we look at the traditional system or the current school systems in many countries, we realize that the educational system has not changed over the past decades, ever since the industrial age has changed the educational system towards making students become good fits for the industrial system. So students were meant to sit still. They were meant to be in a class of the many. They were meant to follow what the teacher was saying. They were meant to learn what the teacher was saying. And they were meant to actually also get assessed on the basis what the teacher and the curriculum was preparing for them. So there was no questioning. It was actually more towards being obedient and following the instructions and not looking into what is really, the essence of this student and what can the student bring to the table for society as a whole. And I think we all agree on that. This is not preparing our students for life. This is actually conditioning our students towards becoming followers rather than taking initiative, rather than being solution-oriented, rather than being critical thinking, rather than being global citizens, rather than saying, okay, as a team, we can create something together, and finding ways of collaboration rather than competition in assessments. So I think what we need to say is that the traditional system still, and many schools, focusing on a very outdated and very stagnant and a very steady curriculum, which is the same for everyone, and putting students together in age groups and, in separating them into different fields, because they need to already start to choose which kind of further education they would like to do after primary school. We separate them. We actually give them this idea that they need to function. They need to function in a certain way, and they do lose what is really within themselves. So out there are alternatives, and one of the alternatives is certainly School Beyond Limitations. School Beyond Limitations wants to see the student and each student as a divine being, as a person who already holds within themselves certain talents, certain interests that can be developed, of course, further, and that will not, be just those interests that they start with, but that they have an inclination towards something, and that they have a personality that is very unique for them. And at the same time, it's not about the individualization, constant individualization, like we are seeing in today's society, where only the individual counts. No, it's this understanding that we hold, and each and everyone holds, something specific within ourselves, and it's within ourselves in order to bring it to the surface. So that's why School Beyond Limitations basically says, in everything we do, we believe in the power of education in order to bring the unique essence of each student into life. Because this is so important that every person actually follows their dreams, follows their talents, follows their visions, and starts manifesting these things in a collaborative environment so that they see that together we can do even more. So is that being obedient? No, it's learning within a field, an environment that allows the freedom to develop in different ways through engagement, through collaboration, through the understanding that I see myself as a divine being, as somebody who matters. But I don't only see myself as somebody who matters. I also see others who matter, because in a team, as we know, everyone together we achieve so much more. In a team we can create. So I would say the traditional system is completely neglecting one specific aspect. First and foremost, the content, of what we are learning, that is already out there in so many ways. We don't even have any more just textbooks. We have the internet, we have artificial intelligence, we have so many tools that allow the students to actually access the data, the information from all over the place. But it's our duty to help them navigate that so that they create and co-create with others the curriculum, the innovation, the knowledge, and we in a creative process where engagement is one of the main pillars of co-creation. I engage, I get involved, I collaborate, I am part of the team, I take responsibility for this team, and I have the space to do that because in this school, at School Beyond Limitations, this is actually the approach that is nurtured. This is the approach that says you do not have to be obedient. You have to have a framework where you feel safe, but at the same time, always reflect, think critically, think in solution orientation modalities so that you see the power that comes from you within a system of a group arrangement or a class arrangement or a school arrangement or even more societal arrangement that then can really bring about a transformation, bring about revolution in a sense of change that is healthy, change that helps students and human beings as a whole not only navigate life, but create a life together which is based on shared agreements, common understanding, empathy, appreciation, open-mindedness, multicultural sensitivity, where we understand that we are coming from different backgrounds, that we are coming with different levels of knowledge, but that within ourselves there's something very special that wants to be brought into life, that wants to be expressed. And this is what we are doing at School Beyond Limitations. So, is School Beyond Limitations preparing for life? Yes. I would say yes, School Beyond Limitations is really preparing for life. What we are constantly hearing from as a feedback from our students, as well as from our parents when they leave, and also throughout the process, that the students are becoming self-confident, that the students are showcasing initiative, that the students look for solutions, that the students see that they through their engagement can change the creation and the co-creation of the lessons and of the content of the lessons. For instance, yesterday, one of the students reached out to me and said to me, I have such a great idea for a future residential week. Can I share this with you? And of course, the student can share it with me or with any other facilitator or whomever within School Beyond Limitations. And what do we say? Okay, we listen and we try to put it into practice if it's feasible. And then we bring the students also on board in this co-creation process. So our students have a say, our students learn how to collaborate. And this is one of the main pillars of today's society. If we look around, it's really about networking, about the understanding that together we can, as I said before, achieve so much more. And to be, instead of being followers, and sometimes we may be followers, and I don't want to even judge the word follower, because sometimes I may follow somebody else, of course, but out of the perspective whether I really engage with that, whether this is really resonating with my values and my view and perspective on life as a whole. And then in this collaborative spirit, we appreciate one another much more. So what can we say is the current educational system really helping students to be ready for life? I would say no. And this is the feedback that we also get from lots of employers, from universities who are working with our alumni and with students that are coming from SPL, that they say, you students, they bring so much more to the table. They bring to the table, they think along with us, they show initiative, they are flexible, they adapt to disruption. And this is also something which is very important to be aware of, that life, we may plan ahead everything in life, but sometimes things just change suddenly and we need to respond to what we call disruption. We need to respond. If I have a solution-orientated mind, instead of blaming the situation because it didn't turn out to be in a certain way, I approach it from a growth mindset point of view, and I may still say, I'm very sorry that this has turned out to be different from how I planned it or how we planned it. But what will this teach us now? What can we do differently? What is actually the invitation now? The invitation is to look at it from an angle of pragmatism. What is now the best way forward with minds that are willing to embrace disruption? So recently we had to change our already for a year planned ahead residential week destination, which fell apart suddenly, and within a short period of time we had to make adjustments and we had to change destination. We had to recreate the entire program. Was it easy? Was it nice to experience? It was not nice to experience in the first moment because, of course, a lot of work that went into it was gone in 1 second. But it allowed us to create something new together, and it also allowed us to showcase to our community, to our students and families, that we do not get held back by such experiences. And this is getting prepared for life, because in life, sudden situations happen, unpredicted situations happen, and this is what we want our students to embrace. Embrace disruption, embrace an entrepreneurial thinking, embrace a solution-oriented attitude, and then you are ready to embrace life and navigate life in a positive way. So the traditional system, I would say, is not preparing for life. And you will have to learn that at a later stage. And at School Beyond Limitations, we embedded already from the very beginning by focusing on all this co-creation process, but also by focusing on ourselves from a personal developmental point of view, from an academic developmental point of view, from an emotional, spiritual, and social developmental point of view. And so I would say SPL is an amazing solution for parents who and families and students who look for something else, where school gives them meaning and school allows them to look at life from a viewpoint of possibilities and creation within a collective. And if you feel this is resonating with you, then please reach out to us and you will find their website in the description. At School Beyond Limitations, we support our students find their unique essence. Feel free to share the content of this podcast with other parents. We are here to show that your children can indeed bring their unique essence into life. So, reach out to us if you think that this is what you'd like your daughter, your son to experience, or apply through our website. Also, leave your comments, your questions, or your review about the podcast. Share it with others. And, as you know, sharing is caring.